Nigeria's independence on October 1, 1960 from colonial rule liberated the nation from the dictates of its masters. Year after year, the nation brings to remembrance the process of its freedom while assessing its growth in terms of development and stability. In recent years, the celebration has witnessed a low-key form, obviously due to the many challenges bedeviling the country, from insecurity to economic downturn, high cost of living and infrastructural deficits. October 1st, 2017, Nigeria, the giant of Africa, clocks 57, and as the tradition, the president gives a national broadcast, maintaining his stance on the mismanagement of the country's resources before the current government took over 2 years ago, which is gradually being recovered.
Over the years, the country has gone through trials and tribulations, but October 1st is always a day for celebrations. It is a day for thanksgiving, reflection, and rededication. It is also a day for remembrance. We should remind ourselves of the recent journey from 1999 to 2015, when our country happily returned to democratic rule. However, in spite of oil prices being an average of 100 United States dollars per barrel and about 2.1 million barrels a day, that great piece of luck was squandered and the country's social and physical infrastructure neglected. We were left with no savings and huge infrastructure deficit. The APC government's campaign, rallying cry to restore security, rebalance the economy, and fight corruption was not all rhetoric. The country must first be secured. The economy must be rebalanced so that we do not depend on oil alone. We must fight corruption, which is Nigeria's #1 enemy. Our administration is tackling these tasks in earnest.
President Muhammadu Buhari also reaffirms his administration's commitment to tackling insecurity in the country.
Nigerians must be grateful to our gallant armed forces for rolling back the frontiers of Boko Haram's terrorism, defeating them and reducing them to cowardly attacks on soft and vulnerable targets. Nigeria is grateful to its neighbors and the international community for the collective efforts to defeat this worldwide menace of terrorism. Not even the most organized and most equipped police and security forces in the world can escape the menace of modern-day terrorism, as we have seen in recent years in Europe and other parts of the world. But we are not letting up. Our armed forces, in an effort to enhance the operational capability of troops of Operation Lafia Dole, have established mobile strike teams in the northeast. These will ensure the final push to wipe out the remnants of Boko Haram. In addition, through targeted air strikes, most of the leadership and identified logistic bases and routes of the insurgents have been neutralized. The armed forces have established a naval presence in the Lake Chad Basin as part of the coordinated military efforts to curtail the movements or re-emergence of the sect in the area.
Operation Lafia Dole.
Shortly after his broadcast, the president jets out from the capital city of Abuja to Maiduguri, Borno state capital in the northeast, one of the states worst hit by Boko Haram insurgency. Government claims it is winning the battle over insurgency in the northeast, but strikes have continued by the insurgents. The president inspects some military hardware as well as interacts with the injured soldiers.
Theater Command Operation Latvia Dole to interact with the troops.
The Chief of Defense Staff, General Abayomi Olonishaki, relays the situation in the camp to the president.
The decision of Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief, to visit and identify with his troops in the theater of operation on this auspicious occasion is very significant in many ways. First, it is a recognition and appreciation of the services of members of the Armed Forces of Nigeria and indeed all security agencies wherever deployed in keeping our dear country a strong, indivisible nation despite our challenges. It is also very significant because such visit is unprecedented and will remain indelible in the hearts of all members of the security services. This visit is definitely a morale booster for us all as will propel us to greater performance in our efforts to address the security challenges confronting our country.
You are welcome to
President Buhari applauds the sacrifice of the women and men of the armed forces in the fight to secure the nation, but challenges them to redouble their efforts.
We have done so much for this country as members of the country and members of the armed forces and the law enforcement agencies. It's our duty. We have sworn loyalty to the nation. I assure you that under this leadership, there will be resources available as much as the country can afford it to support your operations. I would like to remind you that no matter what happens, the military will remain in the front line until we make sure that people are free wherever they live in this country.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Mr. President has just cut the Independence Day anniversary cake. Shall we please put our hands together for you? Thank you.